So hello friends, my name is Rahul Vadhan, and today I will be giving you an overview of Right to Information Act, or famously known as RTI Act of India. But before going through that info, let me take you through certain scenarios that many of you must have faced. So this scenario, I'm sure many of you have faced, or probably your family members or your friends, colleagues, neighbors, someone or other would have surely faced this situation. Certain people would have been in, excuse me, sorry, certain people would have surely faced the situation wherein their patience would have been tested to the level where they would have felt completely hopeless or helpless. Many times we become puppets in the hand of the bureaucrats who run the system, and they make us run from pillar to post to get our work done. This leads to a very stressful situation for many of us in a way or other. And why this stressful situation arises, let's understand this first. This situation is there in most of the government office departments, if not all the departments across India. Right from the time of independence, our legislative have come out with various laws, left, right, and center. But the major concern with that has been the implementation of that law, or I would say it has been poorly implemented. This poorly implemented governance system has led to two situations. One is that there are many interdepartment clashes, and second is the chalta hai attitude by many of the babus who are the part of this bureaucracy. This combined both has led to misgovernance. Also, the poorly implemented governance system had made a situation where there's a lack of knowledge about the procedures among the common man. Now, since there is very limited knowledge that people are having, and along with misgovernance, this is leading to a situation called as distrust in the system. People are like, "Yaar, kya hoga aage? Pata nahi kaise karenge hum log ye." So the final option that many people have is like they approach some agent and try to bribe the officer and get their work done, which leads to corruption. And this eventually leads to what we call as the dysfunction of the whole public system, which is a very unfortunate thing that is happening currently in most of the departments. Since we are the taxpayer of this country, whether it's a direct tax or indirect tax, that's a secondary thing. But being a taxpayer, public services are entitlement. It is what the government has to give to us. It is not a favor that they are doing on us. So there are as a citizen of this country, there are certain fundamental rights that the Constitution awards us, or we are privileged to have that. There are 6 fundamental rights, and they are as follows. Right now, we will be focusing just on right to freedom. And as per to the Indian Constitution, Article 19(1)(a), right to freedom of speech is being very well defined under this article. So you can say that right to freedom is right to information. It's interchangeable. Why was this need? Why this need arise for the Right to Information Act? If you see that people of India elect the government, and we pay our taxes so that government can run, they can function, they can carry out their duties. So as the citizen of this India, we have each and every right to know how the government is functioning and where our money is being used. This is also being stated by Supreme Court of India in 1975 itself, that right to speech and expression cannot be exercised without right of information. Now, there's another factor why this right to information has arisen, because of lack of certain factors. That is the accountability, transparency in the system. There is no transparency how the things are happening. You can see in many of the tenders, so right now e-tenders have come in picture, but still there is this concern. Responsibility factor, who will be responsible for certain type of job that has been assigned, and active participation. active participation between departments where certain work has to be carried out by multiple departments. So there is lack of all these four factors. These four factors are the main pillar for the good governance, along with many other things that are there, which is being displayed on the screen right now. So how the RTI movement has been started? Let's see first globally and then we will come locally on it. Excuse me. In 1946, United Nations had recognized that right to information is a fundamental right for all the citizens of this world. In 1949, Sweden became the first country in the world to enact it. 1960, UNESCO also adopted it. And so far, 127 countries have their own right to information act in one way or other. Many of them are functional, some are partially functional. Though in India, the movement for right to information started in early 1980s. But, excuse me, is the screen visible to all? Can someone please let me know?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, Rahul.
Thank you. So in the year 2000, central government appointed a committee through which the first act, Freedom of Information Act, as it was known then, was enacted and it was brought into force. But before that, in year 2000, few of the states have started with their own individual RTI acts, Rajasthan being the first of them, along with Karnataka, and later many other states joined in. In year 2005, the then government decided that we need a more effective law, which has got more power, which can help the citizen in a more better way. And hence the framework was being made in year 2005. And finally, in October 2005, the current act, that is the Right to Information Act, was brought into force after it was being passed by the Parliament in June 2005 itself. So this act empowers the citizen to question the government, check the public files, take certified copies, check the government work. So there are only 4 statements being given so far over here, but this covers almost 80% of the chunk of the government machinery. To say in few words, it's like maximum disclosure and minimum So what is information? So it has been defined as so many things that you can see on your screen. It's coming on the picture right now. So it can be samples that has been kept in the government documentation, or certain images, memos, emails, files, records. The list is endless. There are so many things that you can get avail of from the government. It also includes a right to take certified sample of material. Over here, the material doesn't only mean certain garment sample. You can even take the sample of the roads. When a road is being relayed by some contractor, you have the right to go and check you have the right to take the samples and get it checked in the private lab whether the quality being used is as required or not. You can get the documents inspected, or even you can take notes. You can collect the documents or data in form of electronic form through pen drives or through CDs. You can also get access to some information of some private body, but certain conditions are applied that it has to be governed by certain public authority. We will go through this in the presentation in further slides. First, let us see who all are covered under this. So any government, self-government establishment, that is most of the departments of central government and state government, you name it and it will be there. Railways, insurance, post office, passport office. Under state government, you have electricity board, water department, municipal corporation, and so on. It also includes, there are certain departments which are substantially financed by the government, like private insurance companies, some aided schools, NGOs, charitable trusts. The list is endless over here. So let's see what are the major USPs of this act. It is one of the simplest yet the strongest law in Indian history. It is so powerful. It's so powerful that by writing a simple page application, you can get hold of the records from the government department. There is no expertise required. I myself am from the science background, and I see that everyone, any person from any stream can learn this law and can start implementing it. It has a two-tier appeal mechanism, which is the very lateral and very simplest form of mechanism which is there in Indian history of law. We will go through that mechanism in the further slides. Of the 25,000 odd laws, this is among the very few acts wherein we can keep an eye on the government functioning. Many of the acts which are there right now in India, and that certain sections are there which keeps a tab on the government functions. But this is one of the law which is totally looking into that. There is nothing for the common man. It is more how to keep an eye on the government functioning over here. There are certain sections. Overall, there are 30 sections. To be very specific, actually 31 sections in this act, spread out across 6 chapters. And one of the most important sections is section 4. As per this section, the public body, they have to constantly and proactively, that to at a regular interval, provide as much information through their own medium, whichever medium they are having right now. This information has to be circulated in a manner that is easily accessible. Right now, the most easily accessible thing would be the internet, through the websites, through the official websites of these government bodies. And if you will find almost all the websites have that section in which you can check out for their RTI Act, what all things they are disclosed, who are the concerned officers, and all the information will be revealed over there. It doesn't require you to give reason why you are asking for information. The fees are very, very nominal over here. And it has to be drafted in the very simple format and in very simple language. No knowledge of law language is required over here. Coming to the major sections over here, if you don't get the information or reply within 30 days or within the stipulated time, it will be considered that the concerned officer has denied you the information. And in such a case, you have the privilege to appeal to the higher authority. And if it is being found that the authority has denied you information on his own will, then that authority can be fined for denying you the information as per the section 20 of the Act. You can also demand for departmental inquiry. This is one of the first acts where you can demand for departmental inquiry. No other act in India has been so powerful so far. Let's see the authority hierarchy over here under RTI. It's a very simple and very natural thing. First is the assistant PIO under state or central government. Then the PIO, first appellate authority, and directly the topmost post being the information commissioner. The assistant PIO post is not a mandatory post. Only if the organization is too huge, then only this post has been assigned. But the other two posts, that is the PIO and the first appellate authority, has to be fixed or to be appointed in all the administrative units of the government departments. So how do we file an RTI application? A person who wishes to get this information can make this request through electronic medium or through writing in a very simple language by paying the approved fees. So there are three different annexures over here. Namely, the first application, which is called as the RTI application. If you don't get the desired result, you can file the first appeal. And still, if you want to take it further, you can go to the second appeal, that is the Information Commissioner. Let's see the annexure A over here first, which is the simple RTI application, wherein more than 75% work is done. So how do we file this application? On a plain page, a regular A4 size paper, no ledger is required. And there's a specific format, you just need to follow that format. Fees is very nominal over here, that is just 10 rupees. Mode of payment, multiple mode of payments are there. You can pay through pay order, in cash, through a code fee stamp, or through a postal order. The mode of submission, again, multiple modes are there. You can submit in person or through post. You can submit your application for central government departments directly at the post office, and post office will deliver over there. This is not the postal part, this is the separate part. You can submit your application electronically also. Stipulated time in which the PI has to reply is 30 days, but there's one small option is also there. If it's a matter of life and death, you can get the desired information in 48 hours. So if the PIO is rejecting your application, or if he is replying to your application, there are certain information which they have to provide. First is if they have rejected your application, they have to give the reason. Whereas we don't have to give the reason why we are asking for the information, but they have to mention why they have rejected, under what clause or under what section they are rejecting our application, and they have to provide us with the detail to appeal. The detail of appellate authority has to be provided under their reply. This is how the application annexure A looks like. If you see, it's a very simple format with very basic information they are asking for. Your name, address, what is the subject matter, for what duration you are asking for the information. This is the main part wherein you have to describe your requirement, and then whether you want the information by post or by hand delivery.
Hello.
Yes, hello.
Sir, it is not visible. The screen is not.
Oh, okay. Just give me a minute. Is it visible now?
Yes, it is visible.
Yeah, okay. I will just go through this part again. The information over the format is very simple. You have to write in the name of the PIO and its address, the department address, your name and your address details.
Hi. आवाज बने हमने नहीं पॉलिटिक्स
चलिए. Hello, am I audible right now?
you are.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I'm sorry, there was some problem with my PC over here. Yeah, should I continue?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So after putting in your name and address, you have to just give the description, why this information is required and for what duration it is required. It's a very simple format, and you have to affix a 10 rupees code fee stamp as it was informed earlier in one of the slides. This is just a sample application which I am showing you right now. Supposing someone has applied for a driving license and they have not got, that person has not got the driving license so far. So this is just an application for that. Application is being referred to the RTO office. The name and address, contact details are being provided. Information is like the status and progress report on my application for two-wheeler license applied on specific date via specific payment receipt number. Since the application was applied in May, the information asked is also for May 2019 and till date. The description of the information is as follows. The status and progress report on my application. Reason recorded for delay in issuing the license. Name and designation of the clerk or officer responsible for the delay. This is the only thing that you have to draft in, and take my word, within few days, you will see the results. This is how the application will get completed. Sign your application, affix a code fee stamp, and submit it to the concerned department.